What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Realm Status. I am your host, Swiper, and today I want to go over the January update that we received this past Friday. Now, I want to apologize for my demeanor for this video. It is Sunday morning, close to 4 a.m. my time, and I just couldn't sleep. I wanted to make this video Friday night, but let's just say I was a bit emotional, and Saturday I really wasn't any better. So today I've slightly calmed down. And if you're a little confused and have no idea why, let's talk about what went down Friday and shed some light on this. For this video, I don't want to make it me just bashing this new game. I just want to talk about this new game. I want to talk about how I feel about this new game. I want to talk about some of the negatives, maybe some of the positives. So if you're interested and you don't want to watch a 3-hour long YouTube video that they did on Friday, stick around. Here we go. So before we get started, let's catch everybody up that hasn't been following Camelot Unchained. Last Friday, Mark Jacobs came on stream to give us their usual end of the month wrap up. But this time it was a bit different. The main topic wasn't Camelot Unchained. The main topic was the new IP, the new game that they've been developing for the past 6 to 4 months. The game is called Colossal. I think eventually it's going to be called Ragnarok or something like The Last Stand. But for now they're calling it Colossal. This is not an MMO. This is a tower defense survival, like aimer shooter type of game. So a quick breakdown of this game is that you can select a character, you'll have abilities, you'll have a weapon, and you can put barricades down, maybe traps down, and you essentially fight off an endless wave of enemies. Now, I don't know if they're going to add bosses to this. I think they have a lot of plans for this game. There is some kind of progression. They didn't go into it in much detail, but told us there's going to be progression. They said they're going to add characters to this game. They said we're going to see some of the same mechanics that we may see in Camelot Unchained. But overall, it's a new game. The art style is different, as you can see. I'll start playing some videos about it. But overall, it's basically one of those tower defense survival games. So let's talk about why CU created this game. Now, there's a million reasons why a lot of us think they made this game, but let's talk about the reasoning they gave us, and then we can kind of go into opinions and what people think and what I think. So from my perspective, it sounds like they created this game so people could have fun. People could play this game if they wanted to. If not, whatever, no big deal, right? They also created this game to test out their tech, to show us their tech, to show us some progress of their tech and to see how it could really work and how it really does work. Now, this includes a lot of items like Linux and all the work they've been doing, and Overmind, the Sky Dome that we've heard updates about, matchmaking, tower defense elements, smarter and better NPCs. The list goes on. I mean, it goes on, and logically, I can see what they're saying, and I get it. I get it. And when you look at this game, it looks pretty smooth. The animations look pretty good, the movement looks pretty good, the combat looks pretty good, and I think that's where things start to hurt. You know, things start to get tricky with emotions and feelings and things like that, because anybody that has tested this game recently is going to compare what they see in CU and then compare to what they see in this game. Now, the counter to that and the counter to the 3 hours of watching that YouTube video or Twitch, wherever you watch their streams, was everything you see in this game is helping CU. Everything you're experiencing in this game is helping CU. It's the code of CU. It's what we're eventually going to see. Not exactly, obviously, the art and the style and things like that, but a lot of the tech behind is what we're going to see. But as a person, I can't help but just do a comparison. Now, obviously, I can't talk about what I'm experiencing in CU because of the NDA and things like that. But for anybody that has tested the game and you do a side-by-side comparison, it's going to sting a little. You're going to sit there and say, wow, what a difference. Even though they're two completely different art styles, you're still going to say, what a difference. And then you're going to start going down that rabbit hole. Well, what have they been doing? How come I haven't seen the devout class? How come I haven't seen anything regarding the devout class? How come I haven't seen anything about the crafter class? A lot of people will argue that they wanted a beta 2 date. I didn't want a beta 2 date. I don't care about a beta 2 date. I think the beta 2 isn't coming out till the end of this year, to be quite honest with everybody. What I really wanted to see in this update was an update about Camelot Unchained, was some kind of progression. And I know they keep saying that the progression in this Colossus game is adding progression and making CU a better game. One example that we saw was the spirit mage, like the pets that they're gonna have. Like, they're not gonna have actual pets. It's gonna be like kind of like ghostly figures that just kind of shoot out. Like, it's not gonna be a pet that follows you in a traditional sense. It looks like they have that spell in this game. Now that's great and all, but Spirit Mage is supposed to be for an extender pack. That's going to be for stuff that when this game launches and is successful and can carry its weight to extender packs. Now, I get all the tech that we just talked about is going to be in the game. Like, Overmind is eventually going to be put into CU. I get all that. I do. But for me and for many others, it's very hard to see, again, where they are with CU and where they are with this game. Logically, I know CU is a much more complicated game. It's going to take a lot longer to make, but then you start questioning what have they been doing with all these new developers and engineers and these artists. Well, a lot of the new ones were creating Colossus. So in my mind, I'm constantly at war. I'm split. I really am. I mean, on the positive side of things, it's a new game that we get for free that we can play with friends. We can support Camelot Unchained if we want. Also, the work that was put into this game has some of the groundwork for beta 2. So logically, this all sounds good, right? But on the other side, the emotional side, whatever you want to call it, I'm still angry. I still wish that they would have announced this game to us. Now, sure, everybody would have blown up, but let's face it, when we saw that stream in December, a lot of us were thinking this is a Camelot Unchained related video. Now they're going to again argue that it is related to Camelot Unchained because it's the tech. It's a lot of the tech for Camelot Unchained. But there's a part of me that's just saying, I get that, but no. I assumed, and maybe that makes an ass out of me and you, but I assumed that it was for Camelot Unchained because I had no reason to believe that there was a second game being made. And that's another part of it. You know, I'm constantly saying, like, you know, technically they didn't lie. Technically they did not tell us the truth. But yet I'm still surprised. I'll always remember when Camelot Unchained went through their rehabilitation. I swear I went through the 5 stages of grief and got to the point where I was at, right? Like, when I first heard the announcement that they had to basically restart everything and start all over, in a sense, I went through this denial period. Like, no, this is crazy. This is ridiculous. And it quickly shifted to anger, and I wrote Camelot Unchained off. I did. I was like, screw this. I'm not following this game anymore. I'm done, right? And then I started thinking, like, oh, well, you know, maybe if I stick around, you know, I don't know. And then it's like I started getting really upset, and I'm just like, man, like, I was really looking forward to playing this game. Like, I really was. I was having a hard enough time as it is trying to find an MMO to play. This was my MMO. This was what I was going to be playing and having fun on, and this is what my friends and I were been waiting for, you know, for so long. And then after many months, I accepted it, and I said, you know what? This game's going to be awesome. They're doing whatever they got to do to get this game off the ground, to make it what we want. And I went through all those phases, right? And I got to a point where then I started wanting to make content a couple years later because I was following this game so much and I didn't see people making content. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I felt so strongly towards this company and how transparent they were, and hearing what all these other game companies were doing, some of this shady stuff, like, we don't need to go into it, but just some of the crazy things that these game companies were doing just to get an extra buck out of you, you know? Now, what I'm trying to say is, when I got this news on Friday, I felt like I was going through all those stages again. I felt betrayed. I felt like, this is ridiculous. Are they not going to create CU? And no matter how much I listened to their logic, didn't matter. I saw a different game. I saw how smooth and nice it was, and they did that in 4 months. And again, I don't need to repeat myself. So, do I think Camelot Unchained is being greedy by making this game? Do I think they're scum? Do I think they're the ultimate devil? They've become every other corporation out there? Honestly, no, I really don't. I mean, they're giving this game for free, and anything that comes out after that point, depending on, I think, what tier you're in, you're getting for free. And you can simply ignore this game if you don't want to play it. You could simply ignore it and not participate in it, and you do whatever you want. So no, I don't think they're greedy. I mean, Mark, like he said, he put most of his money and the investors' money into this. Where my problem sits and stands is I don't fully understand how much more progress they could have made if they didn't put time and effort into this game. Would we have the Devout class? I don't know. Would we have a Crafter class? I have no idea. Would the game feel and look a lot better? I don't know. Maybe. These are all questions that I don't think we or myself or anybody can logically answer because they're what if scenarios. What if this? What if that? And I don't want to go down that hole. I can't help but think that, and I can't help but remind myself of these things, especially when I start thinking about everything I kind of went through to get to an acceptance point with this game. And I know that sounds really dramatic. It really does, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I really was excited when I first heard about this game, and I had to keep telling myself, don't get excited. It's going to take a few years. Don't get excited. But I kept getting excited, right? So overall, I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed. I'm not going to write this game off or anything. I'm just disappointed. Honestly, I really wish they would have told us about this game or surprised us with a side game that was Camelot Unchained or a part of Camelot Unchained, meaning that we could play the warrior class, we could play the archer class, we could play the healer class, we could play the support class and test these classes against endless mobs after mobs after mobs and throw in cube there and test how building a structure could manipulate NPCs running around it. Now, maybe that's a lot to ask for, but maybe in the 4 months they could have developed something like that. And if they wanted to make it a separate IP or game that you could do transactions for or whatever, I mean, I would have been fine with that. Actually, I probably would have preferred that because I'm actually playing the game they're developing. But again, I understand their logic and I get it. And maybe they wanted to make a new game to attract a different type of person because of the art style and how it plays and everything like that. But overall, I'm just disappointed. So now that everybody knows how I'm feeling, and I think you can get a decent idea of how the community is feeling, what did we hear about Camelot Unchained last Friday? Well, specifically about Camelot Unchained, not a whole lot. We heard about Colossus. We heard a few positive questions about it and answers. A lot of people were asking for timelines, release dates for Camelot Unchained. Of course, we weren't going to get that. I mean, I think we all know we're not going to get dates. Let's face it. We're just not going to get it. But we did hear that there could be some testing in February for Camelot Unchained. We'll see what they've added. We'll see what is going in then. But to be honest, we didn't get a whole lot. And I think that's another frustrating part about Friday. But overall, guys, I'm very mixed. I'm angry. I see the logic, but I also have a lot of emotion. So I'm just going to say I'm very mixed on this. I still have faith in Camelot Unchained. I know they're going to make a great game. I think it's going to take a little longer. And not to say that it's because of Colossus. I have no idea. It seems like it, but I have no idea. And I can't stress enough that they kept repeating that Colossus is going to make CU better. Colossus is maybe even going to have it released sooner than what it would have been. But logically, it's hard for me to understand and really believe that because tangibly I can't see it. I can't physically see it, and I don't fully understand it, and that's why it's hard for me to believe. Overall, I'm going to continue reporting on this game. I'm going to keep it to Camelot Unchained for the most part. I'm not sure how they're going to do their updates. Are they going to squeeze in some Colossus updates every month now? I don't know, but I may, report on that a little bit here and there if it's relevant, if people want to hear it. Maybe once the fires start going out a little bit. All right, so I think I am done with my ranting, with my raving, all that stuff, right? I think it's time for me to sit back and listen to what others have to say. Now, the past 2 days since Friday, really, there has been a lot of talk on the Discord, on Reddit, and a lot of it has been kind of negative. And honestly, I don't blame anybody for feeling any of that. Honestly, I don't. I don't blame anybody that wants a refund or that is so done with this game that they don't want to be a part of it anymore. What I would recommend, honestly, is that if that's how you feel, take a break, walk away for a while, even if it's a couple months, let the anger subside and whatever, and for any reason you come back, you can always check out my channel. I'm going to keep reporting on this game until launch, and depending on how launch is and how they structure everything, I'm going to, do guides and all that stuff, you know what I mean? So like myself, I wrote this game off a while ago, and I came back because ultimately this is the game that I've been wanting to play for years. Ultimately, I've been wanting a PvP game that didn't really have the PvE factors. I could jump into a game in PvP, tack keeps, and do small battles. I still respect their game that they're creating, and I still want to be part of it. So if you are thinking about leaving, still consider subscribing. This way, if you do come back, you can stay up to date and get caught up very quickly. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you shortly. If not, I will be reporting on their February update. So make sure you stay tuned. Peace out, everybody.